Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. We're here once again for another day of the horror movie scratch offs. And today's movie comes from the year 1999, and it's one that I saw in theaters when it came out. I've owned it on DVD and I own it on Blu ray. And that film is by John DeBont, and it is The Haunting. There is a scratch off card for The Haunting. Here is the Blu ray. Now, pretty good cast of actors and actresses: Liam Neeson, Lily Taylor, Catherine Zeta Jones, Owen Wilson. What could go wrong, right, guys? What could go wrong? Especially if it's a film that I owned on DVD and now had to pick it up on Blu-ray. I must like it, right? There's got to be something that Okay, we're going to get right into it because this is a film that I remember when I saw this in theaters. I was not blown away. This was a hyped up film, okay? This was a film that a lot of people were really looking forward to, but the reviews were terrible when this thing came out. I saw it in the theaters. And I thought, it was interesting. It was not bad. For some reason, I had to get the DVD when it came out. And all these years later, I revisited it on DVD, and it had the same feeling back then. So I picked up the Blu-ray, when it originally came out. Finally sat down and watched it. It doesn't hold up. It does not hold up, and I'm beating myself on why do I keep picking this film up? Because when I'm really looking at it, maybe it's because looking back, like really since doing this channel, reviewing some of these films, I look at films a little bit deeper now, and I really like analyze, and I try to look at these films from a different perspective, perhaps. But it should be a solid film. Like there's the premise of these people going to this mansion. The setting looks great. The mansion looks phenomenal in this movie. But the actors and actresses are just wasted. The characters are wasted, and it boggles my mind why it does not work, because it should. Between the actors and actresses and the setting and the idea of a haunted house, it should work. But looking at this film now, it clocks in like a little under 2 hours. Liam Neeson, let's just get to the characters. Liam Neeson plays a doctor, okay, and he's doing what he says is a sleep study on insomniacs. But he has some other things that he's studying. It's not so much the insomnia. He's studying something else, and that is fear. The cause of fear with some of these people. So there are some things that are going to happen at the mansion that he is, basically behind. Owen Wilson's in the film. He's playing Luke. Crazy, right? He's playing a guy named Luke, and his brother's named Luke. That's got to be weird, right? Playing a character with the same name as your brother in real life. But Owen Wilson's just playing himself. Owen Wilson is Owen Wilson. Catherine Zeta-Jones, she's fine. Seems a little bit wasted in the film, but she's fine. Lily Taylor, great actress, but I have a hard time understanding her with some of the things that she says in the film. I had to put the subtitles on a few times too. She's doing like a lot of mumbling, it seems, in some of the things that she's saying, and some of the dialogue just doesn't really work in this film. And like I said, the film looks really good. The Blu-ray looks great. Like the setting of it and how it looks visually, it's a really nice looking film. Other than the fact that maybe it does use a little bit too much CGI, I think this film could have really benefited a lot, and I mean a lot, guys, from practical effects. I'm telling you, I see it even now. Practical effects are making a comeback sometimes in some of these films, and it works. It really works. But in '99, we were really CGI heavy, especially going into like the early 2000s. But it should just be a haunted house story. The problem is, we see with Lily Taylor and why she's brought into her character by the name of Eleanor, why she's kind of like brought to this mansion. Her mother has passed away. Her mother was really like, she was tough, put it that way, to put it easy. She was tough on Lily Taylor's character. And her sister and her brother-in-law are there now, kind of telling her, even though her sister hasn't been in the picture for many years, leaving Eleanor to take care of her mother. They're evicting her. They're telling her, you need to get out. You have so much time to get out. You need to get out. and that's it. So they leave, and basically she gets a phone call, and it's telling her to be a part of this sleep study. So she goes ahead and she's a part of this sleep study. She goes to the mansion, meets everybody else who's there, and it's kind of like her going through all these different experiences throughout the film. I'm not going to spoil the exact ending of the film, guys, but she's going through having all these paranormal experiences. Liam Neeson kind of feeling like he eventually confessing to everybody, saying, "Hey, I'm doing some of these things," but it's not so much what he's doing. There's other things. There are paranormal things that are going on in this house. There's a couple that there's really not. It's PG-13, so there's not a lot of bloodshed, if any, like really hardly anything in this film. And I have a hard time getting behind these characters as Eleanor tries to solve the mystery of what is going on. These like kid ghosts, these child ghosts, are basically talking to her, trying to lead her in different directions in the film throughout the mansion, and trying to help her solve what exactly is going on. The gentleman who owned the house originally, the mansion, he was not the nicest guy in the world. Things definitely, there are some odd things that surround this gentleman. But where does Eleanor tie into all this? That's what she's going to have to try to figure out throughout the film. And of course, not just that, it's her trying to convince the people that she's there with, hey guys, I'm not going crazy. Something is going on here that's paranormal. Like I said, there's just too much of an overuse of CGI that just takes you out of this film, because the CGI does not look that great at all. There's some scenes that are just laughable, just how bad they look. But even that, I mean, sometimes I can get past the CGI. It's just the story. I'm not. I want to see a haunted house film. I don't want to see the story that they're presenting that's going on and Eleanor trying to solve it, because there's a lot of time that drags on in this film where it's just them talking. It's almost 40 minutes into the film before everybody winds up showing up at this mansion. It's just there's too much of a drag in between from one part to another where things happen. And the ending, it can be a little bit, oh, really, this is what we're going to do with the ending. And I'm a pretty positive guy with a lot of these films that I've been reviewing, but this one, it just doesn't hold up. And for some reason, I kept coming back to it. Obviously, like I said, buying it on DVD, and but again, it took like, well, about 20 years before I sat down and watched it again, and it just doesn't. It does not do it for me. Unfortunately, it just doesn't do it for me. The ending just doesn't. It's not fulfilling the way this thing ends. Like I said, the CGI, the acting for people who are good actors and actresses just is not there. It just something it's just missing. Maybe not just something. There's quite a few things, pieces of the puzzle that just not did not fit properly with this film, unfortunately. And that's just we get these big budget films that bring together select big name actors and actresses, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And unfortunately, this is just a film that just doesn't hit that mark. It's not what I want to truly see from this kind of film. And from what I now know, this the idea is based on a book, and the characters in this film are basically based on same kind. If you've seen The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, Catherine Zeta-Jones' character is Theo. You see Theodora, basically from that show. We have Owen Wilson playing Luke, again, another one of the siblings from House on Haunted Hill. Haunting of Hill House. Excuse me, Haunting of Hill House, and Eleanor, Nell. Eleanor, Nell, same as that. That show was creepy. That had a really satisfying ending to it, and it had some really like good jump scares. That's what I want to see. It's like they took characters, the idea, but didn't bring it over properly to this particular film, which is a shame. It's a real shame, but maybe if somebody ever does go ahead and try to make this again, we already had, Haunting of Hill House, maybe they can get it right this time around. Who knows? But guys, let's go ahead and get on to our next film on the docket for the month of October. Let's go ahead and shuffle up the cards here, get everything piled up. And like I said, guys, if you do want to pick this up, it's pretty cheap now on Amazon, and it might be worth a watch. Maybe you guys can find something in this that I didn't, and then leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about The Haunting from 1999. Okay, let's go ahead and get to it. And our next film on the docket. Hey guys, as you can tell, a little technical difficulty at the end of that video, but I did go ahead and scratch off the next movie on the docket for the horror movie scratch off month, and that film comes to us from 1932, 64 minutes, Todd Browning's Freaks. I've never seen this one. When I saw 1932, I thought maybe it's a Universal film, but yeah, it's not a Universal. At least I don't think it's a Universal film. But when I said sci-fi, I'm like, nah, it can't be one of the ones that I am familiar with, and it's not because I've never seen this one before. So that should be interesting and a quick watch too at 64 minutes. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I've actually heard quite a few good things about this one in the past few years. So it'd be fun to go ahead and finally cross this one off the list of movies that I need to watch. So like, subscribe, and comment if you get the chance, and I'll catch you guys in another episode. Take care. Bye.